Okay, my friends, I guess it's come to this.
Oh gods, what happened? Did someone take away your poking stick? Or did the men in white coats finally come to your house and are knocking on your door asking you to come have a friendly chat in a padded room? I hope it's the first one, because I don't think that you're a danger to yourself. You are a danger to all computers, and you must be stopped.
We're going to have to start our own real school.
Wait, you're gonna what now? Start a real school? Excuse me? There's something I just need to... Sorry about that. I tripped or something. You're gonna start your own school, are you, Roger? That's an interesting idea. What are you gonna teach? Rocks and why they're all made of meat, or giant dragons and how I don't understand they literally couldn't exist on Earth. Shit, I'm down to clown. Sign me the f*** up.
I need some people to contact me that are willing to really step up.
And talk you out of it? Maybe just grab you by the shoulders and shake you till you forget that you ever had the idea. Perhaps simply hold up some car keys and jingle them for a few seconds to really overwhelm that big old brain of yours. Well, big compared to the rest of your body, because apparently you're a f***ing infant.
And make Mudfossil University a real full-time school.
Oh dear God, no. Can you imagine the type of person who would unironically become a teacher at the actual Mudfossil University? Someone even dumber and more delusional than Roger, because they not only buy this crap, but think that they have the wherewithal to actually teach fucking anything. Sans any qualification in any goddamn thing whatsoever, let alone teaching credentials. Again, I would go to watch, but as long as it's free.
Big time school, because this is the problem.
Oh God, it's another list that Mr. Me I'm going to educate people can't write in a basic fucking text editor, but instead has to write on a piece of paper and stick it to the frickin' screen. God damn, you couldn't invent a more ridiculous person than Roger, really.
We have
a list, and that's all you really need to start a school, right? Anyway, let's have a quick look at this thing, shall we? What fields of study are wrong? 1. Geology equal biology, aka rocks and meat, like I said. 2. Atomic physics / light. Not sure what he thinks about that, but I can't wait to find out. 3. Space form? Foam, maybe? God, I'm hoping it's foam, because that is just so much more better. 4. History, because of course people qualified in history know nothing about it compared to dipshit McGee and his conspiracy pals. 5. Archaeology, more meat probably. 6. Anthropology. I would be surprised if you actually know what that word even means, Roger. 7. Our origins, because of course the science that has been studied by countless people for countless years can be overturned by an idiot with a pile of weird-shaped rocks. Cool. Finally, if you are intelligent, in quotes, so I assume he's talking about his fans, would you pay to be taught wrongness, in all caps? Christ, if anybody pays for this, Roger goes from perpetual crank to actual conman. Don't do it, Roger. It's not worth it.
Specifically, most of it is my research, and I am 100% willing to be the content director of the whole thing.
You would be willing to be the boss of a school made to teach your ideas? Well, what grand sacrifices will you make for the good of us all, Roger? Next, you'll be telling me that you will take the bullet of managing the money and running off to Tahoe for 9 months before coming back, shutting the whole thing down and blaming the establishment for your embezzling. The man's a hero.
But here's the problem. The fields that are wrong right now, all of these different fields are wrong. Geology's not right at all.
Yeah, I mean, they think that rocks are rocks. Have you heard anything more ludicrous in your entire life? Obviously, rocks are feet. Stands to reason. Get it? Because of the countless numbers of rocks on the planet, I have found a handful that are vaguely foot-shaped. Therefore, all geologists are wrong. Point 1, Mudfossil U.
These are biology. These are biological body parts. And a goose.
A goose? Oh my goodness, it's a goose. Obviously. How could I be so blind? Jesus Christ, Roger, you are. Well, I showed this bit to Mrs. Sick, and her exact words were that you are a bit of an odd duck. Of course, she's completely wrong about that. It's clear to me that you are an odd goose.
I've shown this over and over. I have DNA tests, I have CAT scans, I have specimens, I have giant humans.
Wait, you have giant humans now? My god, I thought they were bad enough, but now someone has giant versions of them to annoy me. I mean, I am pretty sure that the only reason anyone on this f***ing planet does anything is to get on my nerves. Also, the CAT scans and DNA, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't, Roger. If you did, we would have seen it, and if you think you've shown it to us, that's not what it was. Not as evidence for anything you believe, anyway.
Atomic physics, totally wrong. I've shown the light accelerate, I've shown the particles, I've shown all that stuff.
Have you? Or have you sat there and misunderstood it super hard, and then decided that your piss-poor interpretation of reality and the science as presented must be how it all works? Never once stopping to wonder that, maybe I'm just not nearly as smart as I think I am, and just have no idea what I'm talking about. This is why I can't f***ing stand your audience, because the now 150 frickin' thousand of them, the majority who aren't troll subs, keep encouraging you in this complete madness, and I think that they should be ashamed of themselves.
Space is loaded with these particles because they're coming out of the sun, and every luminous body there is, they're everywhere. So
Wait. It is actually space foam. Oh, Roger, you are a treasure. I mean, if there's a version of reality that is completely at odds with how it all actually works, you are going to come along and make it even more freaking stupid, aren't you? You know, if you could use your powers for good instead of evil, you might be the most powerful comedian on Earth, because that shit is hilarious.
the space Hubble telescope is not, we have no idea where we are, because light can slow down coming through thicker, nothing's homogeneous out there, and it is loaded with particles.
Loaded with particles. I mean, what the hell does that even mean? But also, what makes you think you know better, Roger? This isn't you arguing against one guy. This is you arguing against probably tens of thousands of people, probably more, all of whom have dedicated their lives to the study of the cosmos. Versus you, who has so many wacky theories, it's hard to keep up. Well, just let me put it this way. If you asked a biologist about biology, they would probably just answer your question. But if you asked them about quantum physics, they would tell you to go ask a quantum physicist, even if they knew the answer to your question, because it's not their field of expertise. Basically, if you think you are an expert in everything, you are only an expert in being a dumbass.
So we're really lost in space, to be perfectly honest with you. The history's completely wrong, because we know now there's giants, there's new species that we never knew about before, no toes and things like this, giants and dragons and everything else.
History is wrong because I think this rock looks like a foot. You cannot make this shit up. Well, I suppose he did, but the fact that he thinks that it is somehow true is what no one could ever imagine in their wildest dreams, because it's just too silly. Also, still love the no-toes. Basically, he found some foot-ish shaped rock, but obviously they didn't have toes because they just aren't going to form on a rock like that, are they? It's a rock formed how rocks are formed. It must still be a foot, but the entire species didn't have toes. I mean, what other option is there? That it's not a foot? Don't be stupid. You'll end up being sent to Roger's school so we know where you all are.
Archaeology's obviously wrong. Anthropology, quite obviously wrong. Our origins, which we were told, that's ridiculous now.
Fucking hell, shot through those like a curry through a flu patient. I mean, they are all ridiculous. If you don't understand them, I agree. You don't understand them, obviously. You don't understand anything. I'm surprised you could feed yourself at this point.
So now, if you're an intelligent person, you want to become intelligent, and you think you're intelligent, and you want to go to get
your intellect removed? True, Mudfossil University is the only place on Earth where your perfectly adequate understanding of reality and the universe at large will be replaced with rocks and foam, by literally replacing your worthless brain meat with super smart rocks and intelligence foam. So you can be just as smart as Roger himself. Lucky you!
Taught something intelligent. Would you pay for this stuff?
No, Roger. Just no. Not as an education anyway, because, well, it's not an education. I would pay to watch you teach it to a jeering crowd of amused onlookers, because that would be the best show on earth. But I wouldn't pay much, as I would need an awful lot of whiskey to get through the whole thing. That shit doesn't pay for itself. I tried.
No, the thing there is correct. Zero is correct.
I mean, in a particular sense, you're not wrong there, Roger. Nope, just literally the opposite way of how you mean. You know, if the world ever goes to war, whoever gets a hold of Roger can just send him into hostile nations in order to completely incapacitate them with the sheer unbridled silly. It's kind of terrifying when you think about it.
I can show every one of these, and I have shown them over and over and over and over.
Right, dude, a falsehood repeated an infinite number of times is still not true. Yes, you are a wellspring of ridiculous content, and for that I am eternally grateful, but you haven't proven over and over anything, other than your sheer unrestrained ignorance to seemingly every topic that you approach, whether that be sciences or just plain peopling. Like how you can't grasp why academia ignores you. And hint, it's not because of how right you always are.
On my channel, Mudfossil University on YouTube. And now we have to make this into a regular school, figure out a plan to make it available to everyone at a very, very low cost.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, and I don't mean the low cost. I mean you setting up a school of any sort that even resembles an institute of learning of any kind. Because setting up something like that requires skill and knowledge, and an education, none of which you or the people who think you are the cat's pajamas are likely to have. Because if you did, you wouldn't think anything you said was even remotely worth listening to.
Or, well, obviously, I'd like to see it free, but...
If you charged based on the value of what you're teaching, Roger, I'm pretty sure you would have to pay at least $1 million per lesson to each and every student. So profound the damage to their intellect would be, they would no longer be of any value to anyone else in society. So maybe don't think about money, yeah?
You know, I find it hard to get good help when you don't pay them.
Hey, that's actually a cute joke. Aw, that's why I like you, Roger. As bafflingly ludicrous as your ideas are, at least you still have a sense of humour. Also, you would probably find the help you are looking for will be the same level of good, no matter how much you pay them, because see previous.
All right, so let's see what happens here. Something's going to happen. This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is. And I can guess what's going to happen. You'll start trying to get this project off the ground and then you will be distracted by something shiny. Say that the shiny thing must be made out of water because water is also shiny, and then wander off into the woods and get caught in a bear trap. I imagine that's how most of your days go, if I'm completely honest.
All of that stuff is wrong. Every bit of it's wrong.
If anyone else decides that for some reason they want to be the next Sir Sick, first off, what's wrong with you? I don't even want to be me. But if you do, and you want to cover Roger, clip that and use it in response to basically everything he says, and you'll always be right. Just how Roger thinks he is, but correct.
Now, if you want to pay for wrongness, and I'm going to tell you what, I can show you all of these things are very wrong.
Oof. Gotta love that high production value as always. I know you should have a media section of your school that's dedicated to producing high quality content in the style of Roger. No, I'm not kidding. Imagine people doing this, but on purpose, really getting into the mind of a man who thinks he's high IQ, no really, and yet is completely incapable of using recording software and makes edits by turning his camera off and on again. Oh, and of course, them notepad skills. Can't forget those. They are the cornerstone of Roger's smart guy style, TM.
Have them talk to professors about dragons. How come you're not talking about the dragon in Morocco? This gigantic dragon.
Because, and get this right, Roger, there isn't a gigantic dragon in Morocco. That's just you using your pareidolia superpowers to see things that most people don't, and then claiming it as a fact. But it's not, because you are wrong, and just really, really want dragons to be real. If you knew even one thing about biology, you would know that, especially the planet-spanning ones you are so fond of, literally couldn't exist. But what do I know? Apart from a lot more than you, apparently. God, that's depressing.
That's the dragon's head right there. And that's his throat running right down there. And these are all the dragon scales.
What did I tell you about repeating a falsehood? You have been banging on about this enormous dragon for literally years now, and the sum total of your evidence for it being a dragon? It kinda, and I use the word kinda loosely, which is a feat unto itself, it kinda looks dragon-esque, if you squint and are very, very drunk. Which is how I can see it, obviously. It's scary.
That run down the dragon scale throat. You see those? Those are dragon scales. Those aren't just mountains.
Not just mountains. That doesn't make sense. I mean, why would mountains run along mountain ranges? A completely preposterous notion. No, it must be a dragon, because that's what makes sense. Almost as much sense as literally everything else Roger says. Which is to say, f***ing none of it. You know what? I think you should start that school, but just have it called the Institute of Reverse Learning or something like that. And then we will all know that everything he says is the opposite of true. And maybe someone might actually get something out of it. You know, aside from all the laughs.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the...